It's time for us to talk about one of the most luxurious and loving placements in astrology. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. Today we're talking all about having Venus in Taurus, and what this means is at the exact time you were born, the planet Venus was moving through the zodiac constellation of Taurus. This is not the same as having sun sign in Taurus, so if you're watching this and you have Taurus sun sign, you're in the wrong video. It is not the same thing. If you're not quite sure what the energy of Venus even entails in astrology, I will have an introductory pre-recorded portion to tell you a little bit about the energy of Venus, so that way the rest of the video makes much more sense to you. We're going to start off by talking about some general traits of this placement, and then we're going to finish off the video with a couple empowering tips. If you're somebody who has this placement or you know somebody who does, then those tips will be helpful for you to watch. So be sure you stay tuned for that. Now, let's start the video with an introduction to the planet Venus in astrology. Venus is the planet of love, creativity / creation, and the material world. Venus actually rules over two zodiac signs, both Taurus and Libra. Taurus is an earth sign and Libra is an air sign. Venus's location on your birth chart will give you more specific insight into what you're drawn towards in the world and what's also drawn towards you. You can think of, quote, what I like and what I attract to remember what Venus means in your chart. In the words of Christopher Renstrom from the Cosmic Calendar, Venus can be summarized into being your astrological perfume. I thought that was an amazing little analogy. Venus is heavily associated with fertility, but this doesn't simply refer to biological fertility. This actually refers more to what we create in the physical world, from art to wealth, etc. So think manifestation. Venus's placement will say a lot about what you might create in this life, what's important to you to create, and what you're aesthetically and romantically drawn to. But remember, pay attention to whether Venus was retrograde at the time you were born, and the way that you can identify that is when you pull up your natal chart, it should show you a little RX, which is the retrograde symbol, next to whichever planets were retrograde in your chart at the time you were born. And I would try a few different sites just to make sure that you don't see that little retrograde, because not every site provides it. But this basically means that a lot of the traits that I talk about, it may manifest as the opposite for you when it's retrograde. This isn't always true. Retrograde can channel itself as many different things, but typically, say your Venus placement is supposed to make you really value someone who's nurturing and caring. Well, if it was retrograde, then maybe you struggle to find somebody who's nurturing and caring, and you end up in a lot of bad relationships. So it could channel itself many different ways, but it is something to pay attention to in your chart and do research on as well. Now let's talk about some general traits of somebody who has Venus in Taurus. First and foremost, it's important to remember that Taurus is the fixed earth sign ruled by Venus and symbolized by the bull. Number one, this person relishes in luxury and prioritizes not only their own comfort and pampering, but pampering those they care for as well. If you didn't already know, Venus is the planet governing material comforts, our desires, and what we create in life. Because of this, Venus is very connected to the physical senses, as well as Taurus being an earth sign. Not only this, but Venus is even at home in Taurus, meaning that Venus is in a sign that it naturally rules over. So this only amplifies the energy even more. Venus energy is connected to the goddess Aphrodite, and when placed in its home sign Taurus, we get peak goddess energy. This is someone that wants and needs the finer things in life, whether that's in their surroundings, their possessions, their relationships, etc. This person will naturally be drawn to things and people that they know are of impeccable quality and deserving of their attention. They're especially careful with who gets their attention because the way that they express their love is in a very nurturing, thoughtful way through thought out gestures or thoughtful gifts or intimate acts of physical affection. They're not going to want to give this attention to just anybody because they are very much the type to nurture and really cater to their partner once they really care about them. Not only does this placement have a large capacity for intimate love and intimate relationships, but it also has great potential for wealth and prosperity. And the reason for this is because Venus and Taurus are both associated with the second house in astrology. And the second house is the house of possessions. So it has a lot to do with the material things that you own, what you obtain. And like I said before, having Venus in the sign that it rules, Taurus, is only going to amplify all its energy even more. So the energy of the second house is amplified even more. And there's huge potential for immense wealth and prosperity. And if not immense wealth, then most likely someone with this placement will lead a very comfortable life. And even if they don't have material wealth or they don't obtain that, they often give off the aura of somebody who is expensive or high quality, just a high quality person, or they have like an alluring aura to them that will oftentimes attract a lot of people. And this doesn't mean that they have to be like physically attractive or anything. It can definitely just be an aura that they give off to other people. And whether this person's style is eccentric or more classy, either way, this person usually naturally knows how to like pull themselves together. They know how to look, I guess, presentable and appealing in a way that stands out to other people. Number 2. When it comes to any decisions, situations, or partnerships in their life, they often assess how it fits into their life long term and whether there is any guaranteed security provided. Taurus is a fixed sign, meaning they can have a more stubborn nature and often seek stability. Because this can be a very devoted person in all aspects of life, they will always be ensuring that what they choose to invest their energy into is going to be well worth it. Not to mention that once fixed signs are committed, they often remain very loyal. So once this person does decide to invest into something, it can be really hard for them to leave that situation. This is why individuals with this placement are often going to seek environments, items, or partners that guarantee some type of longevity, durability, or dependability. This trait is what often makes them very slow to proceed with anything. It's going to take them quite a while to make a decision or commit to anything. So if you know somebody who has this placement and you tend to be very impatient and sporadic, then they're probably going to quickly close themselves off to you, because that sense of security from somebody else is just as important to them as obtaining their own security. Because Venus in Taurus is somebody who is going to try and secure their own stability as well. And they want the same from their partner. They want their partner to be able to reciprocate what they offer them. Number 3. This placement is extremely connected to the physical senses, making them naturally indulgent in the physical/material pleasures of life. Taurus is an earth sign, meaning it has a stronger connection to the tangible parts of life and is often a natural builder in some way. For Venus in Taurus, we have the sensual planet of Venus inside the aesthetic earth sign. This means that majority of their pleasure is received through the primary physical senses. This is likely the type of person who wants to wear nice fragrances or fill their house with scented candles. They probably want their environment to be pleasing to the eye, and they place high value on intimate touch in relationships. They often love to surround themselves with things that satisfy their sense in every way. And this can connect us back to their need to have things that are of high quality as well. This is also where this placement can sometimes fall into overindulgence if they aren't being careful or aren't staying aware of their actions. Kind of similar to Venus and Leo. Venus and Leo is a very indulgent sign. And I believe I made the comparison where Venus and Leo is kind of like a kid in a candy shop and they need a parent to hold them back. But luckily for Venus and Taurus, this isn't entirely the case, because they are still a slow-moving, grounded earth sign that tends to take their time with things, and they don't really like impulsivity. Unless they have other placements that are offsetting this, oftentimes this is going to be a trait that really helps keep the Venus and Taurus grounded and disciplined. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see future videos like this one. And if you have Venus in Taurus, leave a comment down below, or if you know somebody who does, I'd love to know who's watching. 4. Although these individuals place self-care and luxury high on their priority list, they also tend to have an innate work ethic and persistence that allows them to achieve these luxurious goals of theirs. Taurus is represented by the bull, a gentle giant that grazes until it's provoked. They are not only representative of Taurus's sometimes overly stubborn nature, but also of their strength and persistence once they set their sights on something, charging full speed ahead. With Venus in Taurus, this placement tends to have a natural awareness that they need to have a consistent work ethic in order to achieve not only security, but the luxury life that they might want to live as well. In order to have the desired comforts in life, they know that they need to work towards them. Most earth signs know that success doesn't just fall out of the sky, and most of them are usually instilled with a natural work ethic. Again, they are kind of the builders of astrology. So this person will likely give their full effort and commitment into something that they have decided to go full throttle with, kind of like the bull charging straight ahead. Because of this person will likely give their full effort into anything that they commit to. And again, this ties back into when I said that this has the potential to be a very wealthy and prosperous sign. This is another trait that helps enforce that trait. Now for a couple empowering tips if you have Venus in Taurus. Number 1. Venus and Taurus individuals should remain wary of becoming overly obsessive about physical parts of life. Because they want the finer things and often want to appear physically attractive as well, this can develop into an unhealthy relationship to their self-image, feeling like they always have something to change, something isn't good enough, etc. It isn't unlikely for people with this placement to deal with challenges such as body dysmorphia due to this distress over their physical appearance. And if you have done any amount of research on astrology, then you know that Taurus is often associated with food and indulging in food. A lot of Taurus placements are said to have a very enthusiastic relationship with food. And one of the reasons for this strong association of Taurus with food is because, going back to what I said about the physical senses, Taurus is very, very much connected to the physical senses. Again, because of that Venusian rulership, and Venus is the sensual planet. So physicality is very important when it comes to Taurus. So when you think about it, it's one of the physical things that can entice all of our senses, from taste, touch, smell. All of that can be enticed by food. So Tauruses, whether it's any placement of Taurus, can be indulgent in it because it gives them that satisfaction that they're looking for with their senses. If this placement is struggling with their appearance or some type of body issues or whatever it may be, they can easily fall into overindulging or underindulging on food. You may find that if you have this placement that you have had a tough relationship with food because of this. But overall, this placement should definitely ensure that they're maintaining a healthy mindset. Even if you aren't currently struggling with this, it's still important that if you have this placement and even other Taurus placements, that you do make sure that you maintain a healthy relationship with your body and a healthy image of your body. So you could do something like standing in a mirror, looking at yourself every day and repeating loving affirmations for yourself, or writing down a gratitude list of what you're grateful about your body. Just practices like this regularly can help either take you out of that physical slump you're in, or it can prevent you from going into that slump. Number 2. Taurus Venus individuals should practice being able to let things go. This placement can actually have a bit of a possessive nature to them, and this is due to the strong connection it has to the second house, the house of possessions. They can sometimes look at the world through a more materialistic lens, seeing everything they have as something that they have obtained, including romantic partners. Stay aware of whether you might be unconsciously looking at your life through more possessive eyes, because this can also cause you to be a lot more controlling, therefore causing you to become stressed when you feel like something is kind of out of your control or too much change is happening. Practice the art of letting certain parts of your life go and just let it flow. Go with the wind. Go with the waves every once in a while, because you cannot always be in control and cannot always be the one steering your own direction. One way you can do this is by connecting to yourself through regular meditation and breath work, because these are practices that help regulate the nervous system and keep you in a more balanced state. So that helps in the long term, keeping you from falling back into such high anxiety, stressful, tense states of mind. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see future videos like this one. Leave me a comment if you're a Venus in Taurus or know somebody who is, or just comment your Venus sign. I'd love to know who's watching once again. And you can also head over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community where we talk more about using astrology and spirituality for self-transformation. And if you want a more personal side of my journey and want to participate in more polls, etc., then head over to Instagram at Marisa LaBlue. And until I release a new video, you can watch these ones because they'll help you so much more on your astrological and spiritual journey. But until I see you next time, thank you so much again for being here. Adios.